This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Forest River Salem model 36 VBDS. Okay, so we're out here on the door side of the trailer, of course, moving towards the rear. First thing I want you to see is that you have regular scissor type stabilizers, but you also have this device called a strong arm. This takes the forward and rear movement out of it when you're inside and stabilized. It just keeps the trailer more still, if that's the right way to put it. Thing to remember is when you leave this T handle loose when you're raising it up and down, but when you get it in place to where you want it to be, you tighten it. Okay. Now when you bring it up, you don't have to tighten it, snug it up, tighten, but just make sure it's not in a close. It's threaded all the way in and that sort of thing, so you don't lose this piece when you're driving down the road. But the main thing to remember is when you're going up and down, you want it loose, and when you get it into position, you want to snug it up. All right, of course, and there's one of those on each corner, of course. Okay, so got a rear door here. You got a power awning with LED strip. Okay, this is the vent for your range hood. So if you're going to use the fan in your range hood to vent to the outside, you have to reach up here and pull this baffle loose here. So when you're running the fan, you always want it to flap freely so it can vent properly. Otherwise, keep it shut just like that when you're traveling or in storage, that sort of thing. Okay. Okay, so you have outside speakers. Now this is the fresh water tank fill. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be using the city water connection, which is on the other side of the trailer. I'll show you that when we get there. But in those cases where you're going to a campground that doesn't have plumbing on the campsites, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank and use your onboard 12-volt pump to pressurize pump the water. And all the plumbing will operate just like you have a city water hookup. Okay, this is your water heater. Now the thing to know about this, there are switches inside. It works on gas and electric. But keep in mind, there's a switch right here. See, it's a rocker switch on and off. It's in the lower left-hand corner. That controls the heating element, the electric heating element that's behind that cover there. So keep in mind, this switch has to be on for you to use the electricity. One thing to always remember, never dry fire it. Never turn that on without water in the tank, because in just a minute or so, it'll burn out the element. You have to get it replaced. So always make sure there's water in the tank before you turn it on. Also, this is where you drain it from. It's a drain plug with an anode rod on the back, and it takes a 6.1 1/16 inch socket, so you should pretty much have one of those with a ratchet or a T-bar to get it on and off. Okay, let me close this with one hand, which is always tough. There we go. Sorry about my camera work. I know I tend to be all over the place, but I never... Okay, so this is your fresh water drain right there, that white gate valve. So when you pull that, the water will definitely come gushing out. That's your fresh water tank. Now, this is a LP hookup, a quick connect fitting for any low pressure RV appliance like a griddle or a grill or what have you. You can plug it in right there. Okay, sliding doors, of course. Now this is just a hookup in case you purchase a solar panel to charge your battery. That's all that's for. That's a Furrion brand, so if you get a different brand panel, you're going to have to adapt somehow. You know, change the plug or splice a new, whatever you have to do. But either way, that goes right to the battery. All right, so that's your dump hose there. The strong arm, of course, we talked about. So you have a power tongue jack up front here. Now keep in mind that if this fails, you get a little crank with it. Or is this one? Yeah, but you can also use a socket on it if you have to. But you can crank that manually to hitch and unhitch it if you have to. I'll show you the crank when I can find it. It might be inside the trailer. That could be the issue. Oh no, here it is right here. So the bottom one is for the power tongue jack, and then the top one. Oh, wait a minute. I'm wait a minute again. The top one is actually a tool to get your awning your awning in and out in emergency. I can't really explain that to you. You'll have to go by the video or read the directions while you're doing it, but that's what that's for. There's also going to be a socket in here to raise and lower your stabilizer jacks. I just have to go find one. I don't see it in here. Okay, I'll make a note of that. You have two LP tanks full, and it's got an automatic changeover regulator, of course. This is a deep cycle marine battery, and this is the kill switch right here. So it's on right now. So you're always going to leave it on, except when you put it in storage. It just keeps it from drawing down as quickly from all the phantom power that's pulled from, let's say, the LP detector, that sort of thing. Okay. So you've got a 30-foot, 30-amp power cord that pulls right out of the trailer. This is the city water hookup. I told you this is the most common way to get water to the trailer. I showed you where the fill for the water tank is on the other side, but generally you're going to be using this. These are your dump valves here. Of course, the black one is toilet water and waste. The gray tank's lever or valve is sink and shower water. Okay. Now, if you dump your black tank first, and then you use the gray water to clean it out, the hose out, because it's not as dirty as the black water, right? So one thing you can do, you can leave your black tank open after you dump it. Then you can come over to here, hook the hose at your dump station right onto there, turn it on, and it'll flush the inside of your black tank. It'll spray it out, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. So it's a really good thing to do. As long as you have got water and a hose that you can connect to here at the dump station, it's a good thing to just do. Okay, let me see here. That's it for that. Let me come back a little farther. This is just cable and satellite through. Okay. This shows us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. So keep in mind you can add a backup camera. It's already wired and all that. So we do carry them if you're interested. Just talk to our people up front. Also, while we're looking up, you have to inspect the roof on a regular basis. The manufacturers generally recommend once every 90 days. So you send somebody up there or go up there yourself. You can walk all over the roof, no problem. Check all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation, no obvious issues. If you see anything, you get it taken care of immediately. You're also going to check for damage to the attachments on the roof, like the vent covers. Also the roofing material, make sure that a low branch didn't scrape it or road debris didn't flip up there and do anything. You're just giving it a good inspection. And when you do see something, including separation from the caulk or cracking, you get it taken care of immediately. That's very important. Okay. Let's go inside here. Okay, so you have a 110 AC fireplace. I get to find the remote. We have a new guy who's got his own system no matter what. There it is right there. Okay. So this is the Fireplace Remote right here. You can see that right there. Of course, that is for your sound right there. Let me see if we're plugged in. Yep. So you can see I turned it on, it's flashing H right there. Maybe you can see that. I can obviously change that. That's the fan speed. Off, low, and high. Also, you can change the appearance of the flame. There's a timer you can set it to turn on, you know, a half an hour before you get up in the morning to take the chill out of the trailer, that sort of thing. Okay, so this is your sound here. So you can stream off this USB right here, obviously. You got two speaker zones. One is inside the trailer, two is outside the trailer. You can use Bluetooth and hook up wirelessly with your phone or tablet. This HDMI is an in. So if you got, like, let's say a Blu-ray player, a portable one, you can plug it in here, and you can go straight into the system that way. And obviously, once you get your TV hooked up, you can do that. So there's a lot you can do with it. It's also an FM radio. Okay. Your bunks, it's all self-explanatory. Obviously, they fold up and out of the way, and there's different configurations. We can show you all that when you pick up your trailer. This device here is the carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It should always be green. If it goes off, you take everybody out of the trailer and leave the door open and shut the gas off and figure out what's going on. This couch here jackknifes flat to a bed. The table, you can drop the tabletop onto these cleats here and it turns into a bed. Alright. The winterizing, just that sticker if you see it down there, the water pump and the winterizing hose, everything is behind there. Okay. Alright, so your microwave works like any other microwave. This is your range hood. Remember I told you about the baffle in the vent. If you're going to be using the fan, you can vent to the outside by having that baffle flap freely. Your range, okay. I don't know if you've got the gas on or not. We'll see here. You spark this by turning it clockwise. There you have it. Okay. So you got the 3 burners obviously. Then you have the oven knob here, and you use the sparker for the oven also. So all the way at the bottom to the back is a pilot light. Let me see if I can spark it so you can see it. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the knob on the right. You find the flame and then depress it. Keep it depressed. Then you're going to spark it with this knob until you see the pilot light. Once it lights, you're still going to hold this in for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to operating temperature. So when you shut it off, the flame goes out, of course, but so does the pilot light. So you got to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. All right. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Okay. This is your thermostat. It's very simple, like most thermostats. This is the mode bar here. You light it up that way, and then you just move through all the options. Fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. Try to always use the air conditioner. There it goes right there. Try to always use that on auto. All right, and then of course you're back to heat. Now I don't know if I made myself clear. The fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. So you have that option, just circulates air, and then of course the air conditioner, and then to the furnace, and then off. Okay. Alright, so sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. The thing to know about the toilet is, if you haven't had an RV before, there's the flush pedal there. Directly below is the fresh water tank. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Directly below is the black tank, right? So when you talk about using it dry, we're talking about the black tank. So when you pull into the campground, you hook up your power and your water. Your black tank is empty, of course. So you come in here with your chemical in hand, you put a dose of chemical right there, and then stand on this till about a gallon or so of water go into the tank, or a little more, whichever you really prefer, but at least a gallon. And basically you can't use this toilet dry, or the smell will be really bad and it'll get clogged up. So you always have to have some chemical and water in it when you start using it. Okay. Gfci plug. Keep in mind that all the plugs in the trailer are wired to one of the GFCIs in here. So you always reset it at the plug. Let me get the door here. This is your power converter. This is where you get 12 volts from. So, let me get this here. Come on now. Okay, it's got to be stubborn here. Bear with me, please. I'm going to have to set this camera down for a second. Okay, sorry about that. So, this is the power converter. You've got a regular 110 AC circuit breakers here like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. You got 12 volt fuses and they're labeled, right? So if any of those fuses blow, they'll actually light up and you can see it through the tinted plastic. And most importantly, when you're plugged in, this will generate all the 12 volts for the trailer, anything that runs on 12, and it'll also charge your battery, so it'll keep your battery charged up. Okay, which is a good thing, obviously. Okay, your bed picks up, so there's storage underneath. More storage. You got TV hook up here. Okay, and that's about it. So, okay, well, first of all, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Second of all, I want to remind you to always inspect the seals on your trailer. That's the most important thing you can do, that and winterizing correctly as a trailer owner. So make sure you keep inspecting everything and make sure it's good and tight and no cracks or separation or anything like that, okay? Thank you.